You know, we all do it. We imitate people we look up to. But what if I told you that imitation, when it's misplaced, could actually have a lethal cost? Yeah. Today we're diving deep into that really dangerous idea.
I mean, you see it everywhere, right? The 5 a.m. routines of CEOs, the super strict diets of athletes, the weird creative rituals of famous artists. It's such a natural impulse. You see someone successful and you just think, hey, if I do what they do, I'll get what they have. But why? Why do we do this? And maybe more importantly, what's the hidden danger in that way of thinking?
Well, because let's be honest, more often than not, it just doesn't work. We copy the habits, we follow the routine, but we don't get the results. And it just leaves us feeling frustrated, maybe even a little exhausted. So what are we getting wrong here? The answer, it turns out, is in this kind of psychological trap, and it's perfectly illustrated by a fable that's literally thousands of years old.
All right, let's get into it. This is what we're calling the imitation trap, and it's this psychological pitfall that, honestly, we all face. It's based on a really deep misunderstanding of where success actually comes from.
So there's a name for this. It's called the cargo cult mentality. And this term, it actually comes from these real-life examples where people would see successful groups and just copy their rituals, like building fake airplane runways out of straw, believing it would magically bring them the same wealth, the same cargo. See what they were doing? They copied the form, but they completely missed the substance. And we do this all the time, don't we? We mistake the external habits of a genius for the genius itself.
And you know, to really get a handle on this trap, we don't even have to look at modern life. We can go way back to an ancient tale from Aesop. It's the story of the ass and the grasshoppers, and believe me, it perfectly illustrates this fatal error.
Okay, so the story begins pretty simply. You've got an ass just walking through a field, and he hears this beautiful, joyful song coming from some grasshoppers, and he's just completely captivated by their music.
Now, what's really interesting here is his reaction. It's not just, oh, that's a nice song. No, it's envy. He wants that song for himself. So he goes up to them really respectfully and asks, what's your secret? What do you eat or drink to get such incredible voices? He just assumes their amazing gift has to come from something external, like a special diet. So the grasshoppers, who apparently love a good joke, give him this simple, tempting, and totally fatal piece of advice. They tell him, oh, it's the dew we drink. You should try some and see. And this, right here, is the crucial moment. It's the poison being offered up as if it's medicine.
And the poor ass, just so desperate to imitate them, he takes them at their word. He completely abandons his own natural food, the hay and the grass that actually keep him alive, and he commits to a diet of nothing but dew. Can you imagine?
Well, the ending is as swift as it is tragic. The ass, trying to live on the nectar of another creature, starves to death. His attempt to get that beautiful voice cost him absolutely everything.
So, let's talk about hay, dew, and you. What does this ancient story about some dew, some hay, and a very foolish ass have to do with us? Well, pretty much everything. Let's break this fable down and see what's really going on.
Okay, so think of it like this. The ass and the grasshoppers, they represent two totally different ways of being. On one hand, you've got the ass. He's all about honest labor, substance, being grounded. He needs real fuel. That's the hay. On the other hand, you have the grasshoppers. They're all about art, inspiration, that ethereal nectar of creativity. Now, both are valuable, for sure, but their needs are fundamentally different. See, the ass's mistake wasn't admiring the song. It was rejecting his own nature to chase after it.
And this is where it gets real, because this brilliantly shows how we fall into the exact same trap today. Let's look at a few examples. In our personal lives, maybe we adopt a celebrity's extreme diet. That's us drinking the dew, and we just end up with chronic fatigue because it's not what our body actually needs. Or maybe interpersonally, we try to copy a carefree friend's lifestyle, and we start neglecting our own responsibilities until our stability just crumbles. And you see it professionally too. A solid, reliable company chases some flashy new trend, starving its core business of resources, and then it collapses. In every single one of these cases, we're choosing the dew over the hay.
So it all boils down to this one crucial question. Does the pursuit of some divine nectar blind us to the practical hay that actually keeps us alive? Are we ignoring what truly fuels us in our quest for something that looks shiny and appealing?
Now, this isn't about giving up on inspiration, not at all. It's about finding it in a way that's actually authentic to you. It's about learning to embrace your own nature,
Or, as the fable so perfectly puts it, it's about embracing your inner ass.
So here's the absolute key takeaway. Your true voice, your unique song, it has to be fueled by your own food. It's fine to admire the Grasshoppers' melody, but you have the strength of the ass. And to find your own song, the one you're truly meant to sing, you first have to accept your own nature. You have to nourish the fundamental parts of who you are, the parts that need substance and weight and grounding.
So let's get personal for a second. What grasshoppers are you envying? Really think about it. Who are the people, or what are the lifestyles or careers that you look at with that exact same envy the Essenes felt?
And maybe even more importantly, what hay have you been neglecting in your search for dew? What are those essential things in your life, your core needs, your unique strengths, your responsibilities, that maybe you've been letting slide while you're chasing after someone else's magic formula?
Because here's the beautiful thing. Once you identify your own hay, you stop that cycle of self-starvation. You start building the real strength you need to finally sing your own song, a song that's fueled by your own authenticity.
Okay, to make this really practical, here are a few growth mantras you can actually use. Just remind yourself of these. First, I nourish myself according to my own deep needs. Next, I am secure in my own nature. And then, I appreciate the gifts of others without losing my own. And my personal favorite has to be this last one. I thrive on the hay of reality and sing with the voice of truth.
And that really brings us to the final, powerful thought from all of this. Maybe the laws of your own nature are the only rules that can save you. I mean, think about it. In a world that is constantly tempting us to be someone else, maybe the greatest wisdom of all is just discovering, accepting, and living by the laws of our own nature. Because in the end, those might be the only rules that can truly save us, and finally allow us to find that one voice that is uniquely and beautifully our own.